Okay, 8.5, factoring when you have a trinomial in the form of x squared plus bx plus c. So in other words, there is no coefficient here except for a 1 right now. Okay, eventually you'll see a different coefficient there. All right, so r squared plus 11r plus 24. We are trying to factor this into two parentheses. If you recall from when we had two parentheses and we were multiplying them together, this piece always came from the first two spots. So how could we get an r squared from something multiplied times something? Well, this is going to be an r and this is going to be an r to give us r squared, because r times r is r squared. Now, the last spot, let me change, always came from the last two numbers being multiplied together. So in order to get 24, to multiply to 24, let's see, we have 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6, and then we have the negatives, negative 1 times negative 24, negative 2 times negative 12, etc. Okay, so I could list all the different combinations there. Well, none of these numbers are negative, so it's very likely we're not going to need negatives for this. One of these combinations is going to be what gives us this correct factored form. And we could just start putting numbers in, multiply it back together, and see if this is what we get. Or we could realize from all the problems we did yesterday and the day before that when we multiply two binomials together, this middle term comes from adding these two pieces. Okay, this one comes from multiplying them, this one comes from adding. So if we add to get 11, 1 and 24 adds to 25, 2 and 12 adds to 14, 3 and 8 adds to 11, and 4 and 6 adds to 10. The only one that gives us 11 is the 3 and the 8. So this is going to have to be 3 and 8. Try it, check it, make sure it works. So let's distribute this back together. R times r is r squared. R times 8 is plus 8r. Distribute to 3. 3 times r is 3r, and 3 times 8 is 24. Add the like terms in the middle. R squared plus 11r plus 24 is what we started with. So this is the correct factored answer. All right, now they do get more complicated, but this is the basic ideas for us to start. Okay, so let's try another one. We're trying to factor this into two parentheses. Once again, this y squared has to come from the first two spots, so it's going to be y times y. This 8 comes from the last two spots, so we are trying to find things that multiply to 8. Oh, let's see, 1 times 8, 2 times 4, and then negative 1 times negative 8, and negative 2 times negative 4, and that's it. So if we start adding these, we want them to add to negative 6. If I add these, I get 9. That's not it. If I add those, I get 6. If I add these, I get negative 9. And if I add these, I get negative 6. There it is. That's the combination we want. So this is going to be minus 2 and minus 4. Again, multiply it together, you'll see y times y is y squared. Y times negative 4 is negative 4y. Negative 2 times y is negative 2y, and negative 2 and negative 4 is positive 8. When you add these two middle terms, you'll get negative 6y, which is what we started with. This is the correct factored form. You can always multiply these back together and check to make sure that you're getting what you started with. All right, so good luck. Give some of these a try.